Hey everyone, Charles here. And first of all, thank you for stopping by my podcast. If this show inspires you, makes you think, or gives you that courage to jump into action, please help by donating to this show. Click the link in the description and donate. Your donation helps us with production and finding great guests moving forward. Thank you and enjoy. Good morning. Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Jump Podcast. Yes, if this is your first time here, welcome. Jump Podcast is all about getting to that next level, jumping into success. Success is waiting. So what are you waiting for? Today's guest is going to show you the saying, work smarter, not harder. What does that mean to you? What does work smarter, not harder mean to you? Well, let's figure it out. Stay with us and let's go. And welcome to the Jump Podcast.
You know you should be doing something different, right? Hey, I'm talking to you. Do you believe that you have the gift for greatness or have a special talent, but don't have the courage to take that next step? Always wondering how others made it look so easy? Well, welcome to Jump, the show that will bring you special guests just like you and me. How did they get the courage to jump into greatness? Doing what they love and living the good life. So, get ready to jump with your host, Charles Matthews Jr.
Yes, and welcome to the show. We are live, and you can catch us live. If you're listening, you can listen to us on Twitter, and we're live on LinkedIn right now. So thank you to all of our followers and viewers that's listening live right now. All right, let's get started. You know the saying, work smarter, not harder. Let's figure it out with our special guest. Let's give her a big round of applause.
Hey, aloha.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Aloha, Charles. How are you?
I'm good. So where are you calling in from, first of all?
I am calling in from Little Rock, Arkansas, Rocktown.
All right. So is it sunny out there? Because I heard these people mowing lawn, you said outside and doing stuff. Like, what's going on over there?
It is sunny, but it has a slight cast of clouds above. So it's just a little gray, but you can still go out and be a nice little breeze.
Oh, okay. Is he busting the shorts right now?
He's gone now. So see how everything is working out perfectly for me. I was like, I need for him to go away.
I was like, if this man comes out in shorts, something wrong, man. There's something wrong.
But he did have on shorts, now that I think about it. It's still warm here.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I'm jealous already. All right. So let's get to know you a little bit more. So we know that's where you are. Were you born and raised there?
No, I was not. I was born in the state of Alabama. However, my dad joined the Army when I was about 1 year old. And then from that point, I have been moving around all across the world, the United States. So I have lived in the South. I have lived in Hawaii. I have lived in East Coast. So those are like the main areas. So that's why a lot of times when people meet me, they're like, where are you from? Because I will say things from various parts of the country. Like, for example, I say aloha. People are like, oh, are you in Hawaii right now? And I'm like,
yeah, that's all I'm asking, because you always greet that way. Your emails say that in it. I was like, okay, I got to figure this out. So tell us more about your childhood then. So before we get into the nitty gritty, who is the little girl?
Yeah, so the little girl is Felicia, who's the expectation that I was my parents' Google, Siri, and Amazon, like all of that in one. And what I mean by that is I have all the answers from like A to Z. So the expectation is that I am smart. I have the answers. Heck, my nickname was Brain, y'all. Brain. So it's like aloha. So it's like the expectation that you gotta know it all.
Okay.
I grew up with the expectations of you gotta have all A's. Now, right now, you see my avatar, so if you see that, but I am an African-American female. So it's the expectation that you have to be twice as good. Not only are you female, but you're also a minority. So you may not get a second chance to be successful. So with that came all these expectations that you got to be on your A game at all times. Now, did that bring me success? Absolutely, it did. But eventually, it brought me to my Jesus moment and stress as I became an older African American woman.
Hold on. Let me stop you there for a second. What did
Mhm.
the little girl want to become then?
The little girl was a marketing executive. So let me tell you, I'm the one. I literally, there was this commercial, y'all think back when it was, oh, what was it? Quiznos. And Quiznos had a commercial where they were using rats in their commercial.
Okay.
And I'm like, who came up with this marketing campaign? I was like, you do not want to use rats. The only rat that I know that was successful was Chuck E. Cheese. But
Uh,
I was like, you don't want to use rats for your sandwich shop. So I wrote like this whole letter to them. Like, this really just is not a, what were you thinking? Like good campaign and all that.
yeah.
And so I got a response. They were like, very nice because I'm a kid or whatever. And they're like, oh, well, we did research and they were successful and da da da.
Uh-huh.
But then how many of y'all realize that they no longer have rats affiliated? Heck, I don't even think they're in the business anymore, are they? Not, at least not in Arkansas, they're not. I think they all went out of business.
Now,
So,
now that they're serving rat, no.
and they were great sandwiches. I loved Quiznos. That's why I was like
Mm.
so disappointed with them. I was just like, did y'all do a test? So that's what Felicia wanted to be when I was younger. And that's went all the way up through, you look at my high school yearbook, it says marketing executive. And
Okay.
I thought I was going to have a job in New York and, live in Jersey and all that. But my path went on a different way.
Mm. I see. I see. So then growing up, were you the athlete in high school? What'd you do?
Oh, there you go. So,
Come on
I,
now.
yes, so I was. So this is where I was. So you got to remember, high school when you start going to athletes, I was in Hawaii. So volleyball was a big deal in Hawaii,
Okay.
right? So it was, like the creme de la creme. It's like football in Texas kind of thing. And so I was there and I was good. But again, there was not very many black girls playing. There was a T. Williams that was playing.
Okay.
So I was on the throes of it, like, yes, here I am about to do this. And then military kicked in and we had to move to Jersey. So we moved to Jersey and I remember sitting there in front of the new council. I was like, well, tell me about the volleyball team. And the woman looked at me. She was like, oh, well, we play volleyball in like in PE and recess. And I'm like, that's like saying a pro athlete going back to T-ball. I'm like, what? And so I was just like, I couldn't even play in PE because I was too serious. I was like, y'all don't understand. Why are y'all letting the ball drop here and all that? So I'll say I was an athlete, but I had to let it go because.
Mm-hmm. So then here's a question for you. How did it feel to be bouncing around to bouncing around? Like it can't be easy. Like you said, you had that passion of sport. You're on a team doing it, and then all of a sudden, oop, gotta go.
But I didn't know any other life. Remember, my dad joined the military, and that was one.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I knew. And if anything, I knew if I was somewhere that I felt as though, I was like, wait 4 years, you'll be moving again.
So you
So,
just got used to it.
oh yeah, I didn't have any issues with it until that was the one time when I did find myself disappointed because it impacted my volleyball career.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only time that I felt like, dang, if we hadn't moved, but at the same time, now as an adult, looking back, I can say, that was an experience of disappointment. And what did that look like in this path that I'm on now? So
So then, does
yeah.
that path lead you into the corporate jungle world?
No, it does not. It leads me back into the military world. So I knew the military. What a lot of people don't realize is that the military also has facilities on their forts. We have bowling alleys, we have golf courses, we have, clubs, so they all needed advertising and marketing as well. So that was a perfect combination for me. I knew the military life and I knew marketing. So put those together, I was like, absolutely. And so that was what they call MWR, morale, welfare, and recreation.
So it was like a win-win for you.
Yes, it was a win-win. Mm-hmm.
So then, where did this new you come from?
This new came from when I met my husband. We met at Fort Benning. Actually, we just went and celebrated our 24th when we met this past weekend.
Hey, congratulations.
Thank you. So we went there, and that's when I learned that, which I didn't know before because my dad was HR. And so with HR, they're at every fort. My husband's MOS was building bridges. So we were at a location. I was like, well, why can't, because I remember I wanted to get back to the East Coast. I was like, why can't we go to this fort up here, do this and that? And he was like, I build bridges. There's only certain places we can go. So he became a recruiter, which is everywhere. And so we came back to his home area, which is Arkansas, Texas. And so at first I had a lot of judgment. I was like, okay, the South. And then let me get this right. We're going back to Little Rock. Isn't that the place where they didn't want the 9 Black kids going to school? That's where we're going.
You're like, wait a minute. Let's rethink this out here. Let's rethink this.
Let's reevaluate. But then I thought, okay, remember, Felicia, you can do anything for like 4 years. So I was like, okay, let's, we'll do this. And we didn't have kids yet or anything like that. So I was like, okay. And so he finished his enlistment. And then that's when things started to change. We were here. So this was the longest I've lived anywhere because it's like 20 plus years now. And then we had kids. And then I was getting frustrated with the various jobs because you remember I still had East Coast expectations.
Yeah.
Southern, salary rates. I'm just like, oh my goodness. But that's what started me on my journey to live smart. Is because my life wasn't going in the path that I thought it was going to be. So it's like, now how do I deal with all of this?
Mm-hmm.
So everything was divine. And that because of my experiences, because of my frustration, I went on a deeper journey to learn more about who Felicia is and then what it is that I'm supposed to do and help serve other people, other women, usually in the same area of experience, what I felt.
So then let's talk about it then. Work smarter, not harder. Okay.
Yes.
Well, listen, that's my motto for everything. Okay. I tell my coworkers, they're like, let's go do this. Let's go do that. I'm like, time out. Foul on the play. I'm like, guys, why are we going to do this when we could just work together and do A, B, and C? And then it's like, oh, I'm like, yeah, work smarter, not harder. Longevity.
Yes.
What's your take on it?
Okay. So you remember, I grew up, I was brain. I was expected to be smart. So I was already working smart. But the thing was, I was always working. I was a human doing versus a human being.
Okay.
Now, I'm about, because you remember also the military, it's about the goal. Anybody got time for emotions? Anybody got time for all this? It's about what are we wanting to achieve?
Right.
But then when you add on to that, okay, you can handle college, handle the expectations of that. Okay. Now you add on to that wife and the expectations that come with that. Okay. Add on to that, you're living in an area that you didn't think you were going to be living in. What does that look like? Now you add on to that, oh, you got a kid. Oh, add another kid. Oh, now you got an expectation of Christianity of being the Proverbs 31 woman. And so then finally, I just had my come to Jesus movement. That's why I said, if you ever heard the phrase, Jesus take the wheel.
Yeah.
I was driving down the road and I think my husband and I had just had this fight and I was frustrated. And I was like, okay, God, you're going to have to show me. And I threw my hands up and I was just like, you have to show me. And then that's when I got a sign that just said, it was a white truck, which is the beginning of it, that had the scripture on it. Do not be dismayed, for I am your present help. Isaiah 41. And I looked around and I was like, okay. And then the next thing was, okay, you've always been smart. You work smart. Now I need for you to live smart. So what live smart means is see yourself and awaken. So see yourself means is who are you? Because I was so connected with the military, my jobs and my titles. And it was like, well, who is Felicia really? So the see yourself is Felicia means happy. The sister girl was not happy. So I had to learn how to take that back in order to live happiness. Now, I know most of y'all familiar with Ice Cube and Friday and the whole bye Felicia, but that used to be a trigger for me. Because if you have seen Friday, Felicia is what? She's a crackhead. She's being dismissed. And I was like, I am not that. I am not dismissed, I was like, who wants to be that? But then I realized, okay, how do you reclaim and take this power back into your name, right? And so it's like, so basically, all the people are saying is buy happy. That's all. Just release that. Like they're just saying buy happy, or they're just saying bye to their happiness. But most people don't have ill intent. But I had to embrace like, okay, what is it going to take for you to be happy? And so then I went on a journey from that to numerology, knowing my assignments for that, learning more about, the soul and astronomy and all those astrology, excuse me, all those different things of learning more about who I am. So that's what I had to awaken to. So the next thing I had to do, I had to master my emotions. Because remember, I didn't have time for emotions, right? It was all about the goal. People didn't know, like, well, what is she thinking? What is she feeling?
So hold on. Doesn't emotions and goal go together?
No. Mm-mm. No, not at all.
Okay, explain.
So think about it. If you see a whole bunch of soldiers, right? Generally speaking, a whole bunch of soldiers, and they're going after the goal, the mark, and they're just working. They're all uniform. They're all like, where's the first thing when you come into the military? They shave your heads and all those different things to make you all look alike, right? In emotion, they'll tell you have to be calm. I mean, in the military, they're like, if you get too emotional, you're not able to focus on the goal. Because it's like, we need for you to be calm, cool, and collected. And that's what more of the focus was about. Just being calm, cool, and collected. It's almost like, another, the poker face. Like, you don't know what's going on. Right. I'm not going to play, have my telltale signs. You're not going to have all of that. But there are times when you want to show those emotions. But I have been doing that for so long. And then as an African American woman, if you were angry or if you said something, you were accused of being the mad, angry Black woman or aggressive and all that. So it was just like, you just kind of kept it neutral. And so that's where I had to learn how to master my emotions. I had to learn how to give descriptive words. Ask myself, Felicia, what are you feeling right now? Are you jealous? Are you frustrated? You happy? Content? Bored? I had to learn how to put words and meanings to that. And so then once I knew where my emotional points were, that helped me to live smart. It was like, okay, it's okay. If you're upset and frustrated in this moment, then that's cool. Be that. Okay. But before it was, you couldn't do that.
You just take your time and then work it out.
Right.
All right. So listen, we're going to take a quick break, but I want my listeners, leave a comment, leave a chat. What emotion do you work on? Because for me, it's, the emotional part when I do events, learn to let things go. You know what I mean? Like step back and let it go. But, leave it in the comments, leave it in the chat. What emotion do you need to work on? We'll be right back. CMJ Entertainment is a one-stop shop. CMJ Entertainment helps people do any type of events, and it's a marketing tool as well. So we'll cover everything from start to finish. If it's a wedding, we'll make sure your wedding is over the top. And if it's an event, we make sure that everybody gets information at the end of the day. Give us a call at 416-414-8964 or online, go to cmjent.com.
Thanks, Charles. I'm Carolyn Dickinson, and I'm here to tell you that the Life Success Board systems are live. These success boards have massive impact. The system will allow you to be able to envision that anything is possible for every area of your life. It'll give you direction, it'll give you focus, and it'll keep you moving forward. There are 8 success board systems available to you, plus bonuses. So for more information on this amazing system, click the link below. You don't want to miss it. Back to you, Charles.
Yes, we're back live, and you can catch all the goodies and treats on my website at charlesmatthewsjr.com. That's charlesmatthewsjr.com, where all my guests leave their little treats for my guests, and you can pick everything up right there. All right, so before the break, I asked my viewers and listeners about your emotion. What emotion do you feel that you had to work on? And mine is, letting things go and feeling confident and just trusting. You know what I mean? That's mine. So moving forward now, how did you learn to work with yours and take that next step to help others?
Yeah, so I continued my shadow work, and which continue on my journey to, at the next step, I had to learn how to ask, believe, and receive. What did I want out of life? What did Felicia want? Not what somebody else might have wanted for me, but what is it that I want? And then even if I knew what I wanted, did I believe I could actually receive it? Because you can say, oh, I want this, but I don't think it's really going to happen. Well, guess what? You're not going to receive it.
Then why you ask for it for?
Right. But, there's such these old programming and things to make you think like you really can't do that. Especially, if you talk about like as an African-American female, you're like, oh, you want to have this? And, working in corporate jobs or whatever the case may be, you're like, that's what I really want, but don't believe it.
So what you think? We're asking just to ask and we don't believe that we deserve?
Yeah. That's why it becomes the imposter syndrome. That is why I work with women with that, because many times it's like, you absolutely are successful. You can do that. But then we have that self-doubt. Like, well, maybe not. Or you're not going to apply for this job, or you're not going to do that because, oh, that was just lucky. It was a fluke. I don't know if I can really do it again. I'm like,
well, let me put it out there. I asked for $1 million. I believe. Give me that million, okay?
Yes. So be it.
Listen, I don't know about nobody else. I asked for $1 million, Lord, and I know I deserve this $1 million. Okay, just putting that out there.
Exactly. So it's like you can actually, have those things. But then in order to have those things, it went to the next one. So shout out to those that you guys watched. As we talked about, A Different World, right? Relax, relate, release.
Yeah.
Remember that, right?
Yeah, I do actually now.
So, Whitley, she goes to the counselor. So, hey, that was a whole nother thing right there, because, what they say, the stereotype, Black people didn't go to counseling. They didn't share their problems. They didn't talk about it or anything like that. But I had to learn how to, remember the human doing. I had to learn how to relax. That included, meditation, taking time out. And what that meant, meditation means different things for many people. It's not always just sitting still and just quiet and like in a lotus position. I do that. But I also have music where I get crunk and I'm just like dancing out. Like, yes, that's a form of meditation for me as well. But then, one of the meditations that has also helped me because of the Aloha spirit was Ho'oponopono. It's the I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And so what are some things that you need to release in your life? Things that are no longer serving you.
Things you gotta let go. Hold on. I'm going to ask this question. So let's back up now. You said some things you got to release in your life. Could that be people, family, friends?
Yes.
Let's talk about it now.
Check.
Some people are scared to let go of that friend. Some people are afraid to let go of that family member. Oh, it's okay. She's my cousin. Yeah, but she's always putting you down. I know, but she's family. Like,
so remember when we were talking about the beauty of what I got to experience of moving from place to place. See, in the early stages, so this is pre-Facebook and all the social media.
Right.
People in the military, we were used to people coming in our life. You could go to a fort and then you're like, oh, well, we're PCSing in 2 months. Oh, okay. Well, you just appreciate whatever connection that you have in that time. But it was just like, okay, well, we'll see you at the next place, kind of thing. So being able to release people and situations wasn't that big of a deal for me.
Okay.
But that's what I learned later on, that for other people, it was a little bit of challenging. So it was like being able to coach clients, just realizing that it's okay that some people are meant to come into your life for a season. And whatever that season is, a week, 2 weeks. I mean, I have people come into my life for a day, which, usually are like angel visits. They come and drop their word and you never see them again. But then there's other people like my husband, as I look as a twin flame, like we've been together for 24 years. So it's just, you have to realize the wisdom of knowing who those certain individuals may need to be. And that's what people don't understand. It's like who is supposed to come and who's supposed to stay.
Right. And if they're not with it, drop them.
It's okay. It is okay. And you can release them. And like I said, the whole point, you can release them in love.
Yep.
It's not releasing your frustration, your anger, because it goes back to that whole philosophy of like, you having this anger, frustration. And it's like you drinking the poison, but you expect the other person to die. They ain't thinking about you no more. But you got it all up in your body and in your brain. Like, I'm so angry and frustration. And
Don't drink the Kool-Aid.
Right. It's like they're not even thinking about you anymore.
Yeah. All right.
Yep.
It is now time. Hold on. It's now time for rapid fire. It's a quick game. It's called Rapid Fire. You're going to pick a letter between A, B, C, or D. I'm going to ask you about 10 quick rapid fire questions. You can answer them real quick. And if you have to tell a quick 45-second story on it, why you chose that one, it's got to be a quick story, but we just got to keep moving. You ready?
Okay.
All right. A, B, C, or D?
I'm an A student, so A.
Oh, goodness.
Come on now.
Same thing the other person said. I'm not going to put you guys together. All right, here we go. All right, you ready?
Indeed.
What's your favorite drink?
My favorite drink, kibachas.
What are you most productive? When are you most productive?
When I'm awake.
Who is your inspiration and why?
My inspiration. That's complicated. First thing that came to my mind was Isis.
Okay.
And she's a Greek goddess.
There you go. All right. Summer or winter?
Summer.
What's something new that's happening in your life right now?
I'm starting my own live podcast.
There you go. What's your favorite number and why?
11, because it's a master number.
Okay. Favorite cake?
I guess I would say red velvet.
Okay. How do you start your day?
With gratitude. Waking up and just saying thank you.
What is your worst subject in school?
At the time, I would say math/accounting.
Okay, and then we'll leave it off on a high note. What was your best subject in school?
My best subject. It wasn't necessarily a subject as it was pupil engagement.
All right. Well,
yeah.
I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one. You made it through rapid fire.
Woo-hoo. Okay.
All right. So just answering some of those questions is like, you said the Greek goddess, you're saying, people, yourself, a student. In this whole thing, do we have to build up our own confidence?
Yes, absolutely. You got to believe in yourself. Believe in yourself first. And then when you do that, confidence in your shine will just attract other people towards you. But if you don't believe in yourself, you more likely will not have confidence.
So then the confidence, how do you start your day? We asked you about how starting your day. And how does your confidence start in your day? What do you do?
Acknowledging my higher spirits, higher guides. That's what I say, appreciation, making it through the night, appreciation for anything that has been revealed to me while I was asleep.
Okay.
So just in that gratitude of like, okay. So yeah.
So then where can people find you if they need help?
Yeah, so absolutely. You can connect with me on sevenfoldcoaching.com. And then also on LinkedIn, Felicia Miller Johnson.
All right. So what's next for you? You talked about your podcast coming up, live streaming. What's the focus for you?
Yes. So that, for those that were listening to, okay, she didn't explain what the T was. The T was talk wisely in the words that you use. So that is the next one, is that I am inspiring to talk wisely and share wisdom and life lessons and just information that I've learned on my journey with those others. So that's what I'm saying, that in my Live Smart with Felicia, that I aspire to talk wisely and encourage individuals out there that want to release their inner imposter and ascend to new levels of success.
All right, so let's break that down. What do you mean by talk wisely?
School of Yoda. Like, for example, how many times have you used the word trying or try? If you look up the word trying, it literally means difficult to endure.
So you don't say I'm trying to lose this weight. I'm going to lose this weight.
It don't even say lose, because lose is something many times people hope to win, or they want it back, or I lost something. You can say release. I have released this weight. It is no longer serving me. Thank you for the comfort that you held in my body. There was probably nights that it kept me warm. Thank you for that. But now I am ready to transition to a new form. Thank you. Release.
Gotcha.
So those other words like should, I should go do this, I should go do that, can't. So yeah, talking wisely is don't speak against those things that you want, which is kind of just that ask, believe, and receive.
All right, we got one more. Let's go.
Now time for pick 3.
It's now time for pick 3. Pick 3 numbers between 1 and 10, and those are the questions I'm going to ask you before we end our show. So give me 3 numbers between 1 and 10.
1, 2, 3.
Oh my God! Somebody.
You didn't have 11.
Oh, thank you. Some different numbers. All right. I got to read it off the sheet now because I don't even have these ones memorized. Everybody picks the same numbers. All right. Let me read this one.
All right.
All right. What is the one thing you wish you would have known before getting into this business?
The one thing I wish I had known before I could get into this business is that my spirit team was always with me and was supporting me. I didn't know that until probably recently. So I wish I would have known that way before I got into the business a long time ago. I think it would have helped me on my journey, but everything's still working out perfectly for me.
Okay. Number 2, what is the biggest failure and what did you learn from it?
The biggest failure. The biggest failure is probably the expectation of thinking that my life was supposed to go a certain way. I thought I was supposed to control every element of that. And so once I released that again to the higher powers, that I will be guided and everything would be revealed and my path would be right where I was supposed to be. So the biggest failure was thinking I had to control everything. Everything had to be perfect. But I learned from that once you let things go, that everything will really flow exactly where it needs to be. Divine timing.
All right. And the last one, number 3. What advice would you give someone trying to pursue a career like yours?
Live smart. So see yourself and awaken, master your emotions, ask, believe, and receive what you want, relax, relate, and release, and talk wisely.
And relax, relate, release.
There you go.
I'm actually going to go Google that now. If you don't know what we're talking about, you gotta check it out. It was on a TV show called A Different World, and the character was Whitley, and it was true. Relax, relate, release. That's all it is. Well, listen, thank you so much for joining us on the show. We really appreciate it, and we can't wait to hear your new shows coming up pretty soon. So, thank you once again.
You're so welcome. Thank you for having me. It's been an awesome time, Charles, and thanks for engaging with us in the comments, everybody.
All right. Now, listen, like I always tell you, you didn't have to listen, but you did. I appreciate it. But here's the thing. What is your goal? Are you working smarter, not harder? Maybe there's sometimes you got to change things in your life, and maybe this is the step. So what I tell you to do is take that step and jump, because success is waiting. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Has come to an end, but the fun doesn't have to stop here. If you have any questions, suggestions, or feedback, head over right now to Twitter and Facebook and like, share, and get involved. Join us next time.
Please be advised that this podcast is meant for educational and informational purposes only and is in no way a replacement for legal or medical advice. The opinions contained within are solely those of the interviewers and interviewees and should be received as so. Those seeking help or advice are encouraged to obtain professional legal and medical services.
Hey, hope you had a great time listening to the show. If you think I did a great job, please buy me a coffee. I still got a lot of work to do. We would love to hear from you, your feedback, so please click the link and leave us a review. You can help us grow by following us on all social media platforms and sharing this link. Once again, it's time for you to jump. Success is waiting.